Hello, YouTube. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everyone's doing well, as well as they can be in these crazy times. Today's video is a continuation of Zecharia Sitchin's The 12th Planet on Chapter 3. Yesterday we ended on page 59. Today we're picking up on page 60. The Greeks, in fact, never claimed that their Olympian gods came directly to Greece from the heavens. Zeus arrived from the Mediterranean via Crete. Aphrodite was said to have come by sea from the Near East via Cyprus. Poseidon, which is Neptune to the Romans, brought the olive, fertile and self-sown, to Greece from the lands of the Bible. There is no doubt that the Greek traditions and religions arrived on the Greek mainland from the Near East via Asia Minor and the Mediterranean islands. It is there that their pantheon had its roots. It is there that we should look for the origins of the Greek gods and their astral relationship with the number 12. Hinduism, the ancient religion of India, considers the Vedas compositions of hymns, sacrificial formulas, and other sayings pertaining to the gods as sacred scriptures, not of human origin. The gods themselves composed them. The Hindu traditions say in the age that preceded the present one. But as time went on, more and more of the original 100,000 verses passed from generation to generation orally, were lost and confused. In the end, a sage wrote down the remaining verses, dividing them into 4 books and trusting 4 of his principal disciples to preserve one Veda each. When in the 19th century scholars began to decipher and understand forgotten languages and trace the connections between them, they realized that the Vedas were written in a very ancient Indo-European language, the predecessor of the Indian root tongue Sanskrit, of Greek, Latin, and other European languages. When they were finally able to read and analyze the Vedas, they were surprised to see the uncanny similarity between the Vedic tales of the gods and the Greek ones. The gods the Vedas told were all members of one large but not necessarily peaceful family. Amid the tales of ascents to the heavens and descents to earth, aerial battles, wondrous weapons, friendships and rivalries, marriages and infidelities, there appears to have existed a basic concern for genealogical record keeping. Who fathered whom, and who was the firstborn of whom? The gods on earth originated in the heavens, and the principal deities, even on earth, continue to represent celestial bodies. In primeval times, the Rhaetians, or known as primeval flowing ones, flowed celestially, possessed of irresistible powers. Of them, 7 were the great progenitors, the gods Rahu, which is the demon, and Ketu, which is disconnected, were once a single celestial body that sought to join the gods without permission. But the god of storms hurled his flaming weapon at him, cutting him into 2 parts. Rahu, the dragon's head, which unceasingly traverses the heavens in search of vengeance, and Ketu, the dragon's tail. Mar-Ishi, the progenitor of the solar dynasty, gave birth to Kashyapa, he who is the throne. The Vedas describe him as having been quite prolific, but the dynastic succession was constituted only through his 10 children by Prithivi, heavenly mother. As dynastic head, Kashyapa was also chief of the Devas, the Shining Ones, and bore the title Dyaus Pitar, Shining Father. Together with his consort and 10 children, the divine family made up the 12 Adityas, gods who were each assigned a sign of the zodiac and a celestial body. Kashyapa's celestial body was the shining star. Prithvi represented Earth. Then there were the gods of whose celestial counterparts included the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. In time, the leadership of the pantheon of 12 passed to Varuna, the god of the heavenly expanse. He was omnipresent and all seeing. One of the hymns to him reads almost like a biblical psalm. It is he who makes the sun shine in the heavens, and the winds that blow are his breath. He has hollowed out the channels of the rivers. They flow at his command. He has made the depths of the sea. His reign also came sooner or later to an end. Indra, the god who slew the celestial dragon, claimed the throne by slaying his father. He was the new lord of the skies and god of the storms. Lightning and thunder were his weapons, and his epithet was Lord of Hosts. He had, however, to share dominion with his two brothers. One was Vivashvat, who was a progenitor of Manu, the first man. The other was Agni, the igniter, who brought fire down to earth from the heavens so that mankind could use it industrially. The similarities between the Vedic and Greek pantheons are obvious. The tales concerning the principal deities, as well as the verses dealing with a multitude of other lesser deities, sons, wives, daughters, mistresses, are clearly duplicates or originals of the Greek tales. There is no doubt that Dios came to mean Zeus, Dios Pitar, Jupiter, Varuna, Uranus, and so on. And in both instances, the circle of the great gods always stood at 12, no matter what changes took place in the divine succession. How could such similarity arise in two areas so far apart geographically, geographically, and in time? Scholars believe that sometime in the second millennium BC, a people speaking an Indo-European language and centered in northern Iran or the Caucasus area embarked on great migrations. One group went southeast to India. The Hindus called them Aryans, or noble men. They brought with them the Vedas as oral tales circa 1500 BC. Another wave of this Indo-European migration went westward to Europe. Some circled the Black Sea and arrived in Europe via the steppes of Russia. But the main route by which these people and their traditions and religion reached Greece was the shortest one, Asia Minor. Some of the most ancient Greek cities, in fact, lie not on the Greek mainland, but at the western tip of Asia Minor. But who were these Indo Europeans who chose Anatolia as their abode? Little in Western knowledge shed light on the subject. Once again, the only readily available and reliable source proved to be the Old Testament. There, the scholars found several references to the Hittites as the people inhabiting the mountains of Anatolia. Unlike the enmity reflected in the Old Testament toward the Canaanites and other neighbors whose customs were considered an abomination, the Hittites were regarded as friends and allies to Israel. Bathsheba, whom King David coveted, was the wife of Uriah the Hittite, an officer in King David's army. King Solomon, who forged alliances by marrying the daughters of foreign kings, took as wives the daughters both of an Egyptian pharaoh and of a Hittite king. At another time, An invading, in, an invading Syrian army fled upon hearing a rumor that the king of Israel hath hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians. These brief allusions to the Hittites revealed the high esteem in which their military abilities were held by other peoples of the ancient Near East. With the decipherment of the Egyptian hieroglyphs and later on the Mesopotamian inscriptions, scholars have come across numerous references to a land of Hatti as a large and powerful kingdom of in Anatolia. Could such an important power have left no trace? Forearmed with the clues provided in the Egyptian and Mesopotamian texts, the scholars embarked on excavations of ancient sites in Anatolia's hilly regions. The efforts paid off. They found Hittite cities, palaces, royal treasures, royal tombs, temples, religious objects, tools, weapons, art objects. Above all, they found many inscriptions, both in a pictographic script and in cuneiform. The biblical Hittites had come to life, a unique monument bequeathed to us by the ancient Near East is a rock carving outside the ancient Hittite capital. The site is nowadays called Yazilikaya, which in Turkish means inscribed rock. After passing through gateways and sanctuaries, the ancient worshipper came into an open air gallery, an opening among a semicircle of rocks on which all the gods of the Hittites were depicted in procession. Marching in from left is a long procession of primarily male deities clearly organized in companies of 12. At the extreme left, and thus last to march in this amazing parade, are 12 deities who look identical, all carrying the same weapon, figure 25. The middle group of 12 marchers includes some deities who look older, some who bear diversified weapons, and two who are highlighted by a divine symbol. The third, which is the front group of 12, is clearly made up of the more important male and female deities. Their weapons and emblems are more varied. Four have the divine celestial symbol above them. Two are winged. This group also includes non divine participants, two bulls holding up a globe, and the king of Hittites wearing a skull cap and standing under the emblem of the winged disc in figure 27. Marching in from the right were two groups of female deities. The rock carvings are, however, too mutilated to ascertain their full original number. We will probably not be wrong in assuming that they too made up two companies of 12 each. The two processions from the left and from the right met at a central panel which clearly depicted great gods, for they were all shown elevated, standing atop mountains, animals, birds, or even the shoulders of divine attendants in figure 28. Much effort was invested by scholars, for example, E. Laroche in Le Panthéon de Yazilikaya, to determine from the depictions the hieroglyphic symbols as well as from party legible texts and god names that were actually carved on the rocks, the names, titles, and roles of the deities included in the procession. But it is clear that the Hittite pantheon too was governed by the Olympian 12. The lesser gods were organized in groups of 12, and the great gods on earth were associated with 12 celestial bodies. That the pantheon was governed by the sacred number 12 is made additionally certain by yet another Hittite monument, a masonry shrine found near the present day Viet Zahir. It clearly depicts the divine couple surrounded by 10 other gods, making a total of 12 in figure 29. Folks, figures 25, 26, 27, and 28 are going to be on this next slide. The archaeological finds showed conclusively that the Hittites worshipped gods that were of heaven and earth, all interrelated and arranged into a genealogical hierarchy. Some were great and olden gods who were originally of the heavens. Their symbol, which in the Hittite pictographic writing meant divine or heavenly god, looked like a pair of eye goggles in Figure 30. It frequently appeared on round seals as part of a rocket like object in Figure 31. Other gods were actually present, not merely on earth, but among the Hittites, acting as supreme rulers of the land, appointing the human kings and instructing the later in matters of war, treaties, and other international affairs. And here are figures 25 to 28. So at the very top is figure 25, and that was mentioned in, it says here, marching in from the left is a long procession of primarily male deities, clearly organized in companies of 12. At the extreme left, and thus last to march in this amazing parade, are 12 deities who look identical, all carrying the same weapon. So he's saying here that all these dudes right here are identical. They all have the same weapons here. Figure 26 talks about a middle group of 12 marchers, includes some deities who look older, some who bear diversified weapons, and two who are highlighted by a divine symbol. So here we got figure 26 or 12. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. 12 little peeps right here. With the two deities here in the middle. Figure 27 right here. The double right here at the top of the screen. Talking about the third front group of 12 is clearly made up of the more important male and female deities. Their weapons and emblems are more varied. Four have the divine celestial symbol above them. So here we got one, crescent, two, the wings, and another dude right here with the hat and the wings on his back, his staff. Another dude with wings, two hats, and a staff. And the last one here, figure 28 at the bottom all by itself. Talking about the two processions from the left and from the right met at a central panel, which clearly depicted great gods, for they were all shown elevated, standing atop mountains, animals, birds, or even on the shoulders of divine attendants. And here we go. We have a male deity standing on man here. And we got a female deity standing on the beast. And we got a little winged bull right here below these two men. And you got this guy all solo by himself over here. And this guy too. Holding that little flower, tree, olive branches. It's pretty funny, guys. Next page, we got figures 29, 30, and 31. 29 talking about the Hittite inscriptions that were found. So 29 here at the top. And they're calling it Hittite. You can see the wing atop in the middle. And you've got your 12 deities right there. And notice this right here. You got 3 suns. You know, you got the female Mother Earth with her sun. Then you got the 2 suns above that in the heavens. Oh man. Figure 30 talking about a Hittite symbol which is meant for the divine or the heavenly god. Calling it a goggle like symbol. Figure 31 is talking about rocket like objects. So pretty much that's their rocket right there. Flying off, aimed at the weapon, aimed at the heavens. I'm sorry. See those 2 suns right there above the heavens. See, you got your little angel wing right there. And there's that little goggle symbol behind the quote unquote missile, as they say. Oh man. Continuing, heading the physically present Hittite gods was a deity named Teshub, which meant windblower. He was thus what scholars call a storm god associated with the winds, thunder, and lightning. He was also nicknamed Taru, or the bull. Like the Greeks, the Hittites depicted bull worship, like Jupiter after him. Teshub was depicted as the god of thunder and lightning, mounted upon a bull, in figure 32. Hittite texts, like later Greek legends, relate how their chief deity had to battle a monster to consolidate his supremacy. A text named by the scholars, the myth of the slaying of the dragon, identifies Teshub's adversary as the god Yanka. Failing to defeat him in battle, Teshub appealed to the other gods for help, but only one goddess came to his assistance and disposed of Yanka by getting him drunk at a party. Recognizing in such tales the origins of the legend of St. George and the dragon, scholars refer to the adversary smitten by the good god as the dragon. But the fact is that Yanka meant serpent, and that the ancient peoples depicted the evil god as such, as seen in this bas relief from a Hittite site in Figure 33. Zeus, too, as we have shown, battled not a dragon but a serpent god. As we shall show later on, there was deep meaning attached to these ancient traditions of a struggle between a god of winds and a serpent deity. Here, however, we can only stress that the battles among the gods for the divine kingship were reported in the ancient texts as events that had unquestionably taken place. A long and well preserved Hittite epic tale, entitled Kingship in Heaven, deals with this very subject, the heavenly origin of the gods. The recounter of those premortal events first called upon 12 mighty olden gods to listen to his tale and be witness to its accuracy. Let there listen the gods who are in heaven, and those who are upon the dark hued earth. Let there listen the mighty olden gods, thus establishing that the gods of old were both of heaven and upon earth. The epic lists the 12 mighty olden ones, the forebears of the gods. In this slide here, we got figures 32 and 33. 32 is Teshub riding a bull. Remember Teshub, they say, is the god of thunder and lightning. The two weapons in his hand, standing on top of the bull. We got some physics right here going on at the bottom. And his crescent with his sun in the heavens. Below that, figure 33 is a This is supposed to be the serpent deity Yanka. Let's see, so there's Yanka, the serpent. And these are his two battlers, Hittite battlers. Attention, the recounter proceeded to tell how the god who was king in heaven came to dark-hued earth. Formerly in the olden days, Alalu was king in heaven. He, Alalu, was seated on the throne. Mighty Anu, the first among the gods, stood before him, bowed at his feet, set the drinking cup in his hand. For 9 counted periods, Alalu was king in heaven. In the 9th period, Anu gave battle against Alalu. Alalu was defeated. He fled before Anu. He descended to the dark-hued earth. Down to the dark-hued earth he went. On the throne sat Anu. The epic thus attributed the arrival of a king in heaven upon earth to a usurpation to the throne. A god named Alalu was forcefully deposed from his throne somewhere in the heavens, and fleeing for his life, descended to dark-hued earth. But that was not the end. The text proceeded to recount how Anu, in turn, was also deposed by a god named Kumarbi, Anu's own brother by some interpretations. There's no doubt that this epic, written 1,000 years before the Greek legends were composed, was the forerunner of the tale of the deposing of Uranus by Cronus and of Cronus by Zeus. Even the detail pertaining to the castration of Cronus by Zeus is found in the Hittite text, for that was exactly what Hammurabi did to Anu. For 9 counted periods, Anu was king in heaven. In the ninth period, Anu had to do battle with Kumarbi. Anu slipped out of Kumarbi's hold and fled. Flee did Anu, rising up to the sky. After him, Kumarbi rushed, seized him by his feet. He pulled him down from the skies. He bit his loins and the manhood of Anu, with the insides of Kumarbi combined, fused as bronze. According to this ancient tale, the battle did not result in a total victory. Though emasculated, Anu managed to fly back to his heavenly abode, leaving Kumarbi in control of Earth. Meanwhile, Anu's manhood produced several deities within Kumarbi's insides, which he, like Cronus in the Greek legends, was forced to release. One of these was Teshub, the chief Hittite deity. However, there was to be one more epic battle before Teshub could rule in peace. Learning of the appearance of an heir to Anu in Kumiya, the heavenly abode, Kumarbi devised a plan to raise a rival to the god of storms. Into his hand he took his staff. Upon his feet he put the shoes that are swift as winds, and he went from his city Ur-Kish to the abode of the lady of the great mountain. Reaching her, his desire was aroused. He slept with the lady mountain. His manhood flowed into her. 5 times he took her. 10 times he took her. Was Kumarbi simply lustful? We have reason to believe that much more was involved. Our guess would be that the succession of rulers of the gods were such that a son of Kumarbi by the Lady of the Great Mountain could have claimed to be rightful heir of the heavenly throne, and that Kumarbi took the goddess 5 and 10 times in order to make sure that she conceived, and she, as indeed she did. She bore a son whom Kumarbi symbolically named Uli Kumi, the suppressor of Kumiya, Teshub's abode. The battle for succession was foreseen by Kumarbi as one that would entail fighting in the heavens. Having destined his son to suppress the incumbents at Kumiya, Kumarbi further proclaimed for his son, "Let him ascend to heaven for kingship. Let him vanquish Kumiya, the beautiful city. Let him attack the god of storms and tear him to pieces like a mortal. Let him shoot down all the gods from the sky." Did the particular battles fought by Teshub upon earth and in the skies take place when the age of Taurus commenced circa 4000 BC? Was it for that reason that the winner was granted association with the bull? And were the events in any way connected to the beginning at the very same time of the sudden civilization of Sumer? Let me get some coffee, guys. There can be no doubt that the Hittite pantheon and tales of the gods indeed had their roots in Sumer, its civilization and its gods. The tale of the challenge to the divine throne by Uli Kumi continues to relate heroic battles but of an indecisive nature. At one point, the failure of Teshub to defeat his adversary even caused his spouse, Hebat, to attempt suicide. Finally, an appeal was made to the gods to mediate the dispute, and an assembly of the gods was called. It was led by an olden god named Enlil and another olden god named Ea, who was called upon to produce the old tablets with the words of destiny. Tablets of destiny. Some ancient records that could apparently help settle the dispute regarding the divine succession. When these records failed to settle the dispute, Enlil advised another battle with the challenger, but with the help of some very ancient weapons. "Listen ye, olden gods, ye who know the olden words," Enlil said to his followers. Open ye the ancient storehouses of the fathers and the forefathers. Bring forth the olden copper lance with which heaven was separated from earth, and let them sever the feet of Ili Kumi. Who were these olden gods? The answer is obvious for all of them. Anu, Antu, Enlil, Ninlil, Ea, Ishkur bear Sumerian names. Even the name of Teshu, as well as the names of other Hittite gods, were often written in Sumerian script to denote their identities. Also, some of the places named in the action were those of ancient Sumerian cities. Excuse me, guys. It dawned on the scholars that the Hittites, in fact, worshipped a pantheon of Sumerian origins, and that the arena of the tales of the olden gods was Sumer. This, however, was only part of a much wider discovery. Not only was the Hittite language found to be based on several Indo-European dialects, but it was also found to be subject to substantial Akkadian influence, both in speech and more so in writing. And that'll do it for today, guys. I mean, I hope these couple pages that we've read today in today's update is eye-opening little by little as we read, you know. We've got the tablets of destinies already popping up in the third chapter. We've got the Inky and Enlil, you know, starting to the whole rivalry between them starting to pop off after their intervention with the Hittites and such. Oh gosh, it's just all crazy, guys. You know, this is my first time reading Zecharia Sitchin's books, aside from hearing other people do their own interpretations on it. So that being said, thank you guys. I appreciate all your help, all your likes, all your comments, subscribers, if any. Sharings will be mostly appreciated, you know, because just the synchronicities of things, you know, life itself isn't coincidental, I should say. You know, we're all put on this plane here, this earth, together to figure life out together, not alone. We're not alone, guys. I love you all. Stay safe wherever you are. Stay warm if it's cold. Stay cool if it's starting to get hot again. Goodbye, guys. Thank you.